I'm Jonas, this is Sublime Media, and thank you so much for tuning in today on my small little channel here. This is a recent vinyl finds update, and it's gonna be only jazz. Yeah, I still collect jazz actually, but even if I tend to go more towards psych and prog, the more spacier sort of trips, I still collect jazz when I stumble upon them in stores and collections and stuff like that. So this is going to be half like original pressings and half reissues, but not reissues from like this year. You'll know what I mean when I show them. Now, subscribe if you haven't, give it a thumbs up, and also comment. This is by far the easiest way to support my channel, to comment, and we'll have a discussion going, and also the algorithm will shoot this out to even more people. And more people need jazz in their life, don't they? So, yeah, I think that's it. Let's head into the records. I'm gonna start off pretty free. This is highly recommended for both fans of jazz, of the little bit of a little bit freer territory, and also prog, because a lot of the personnel here are prog musicians. This is Centipede with September Energy. This is the US press with this cover artwork. This was originally released in UK on the RCA Neon label. White cover, just the title, very minimalistic, much better looking than this, even if I think that this is a cool one. Now, I won't read all the personnel on here, but I'll show you. You can read a little bit for yourself and then check this out. Liner notes by Robert Wyatt. But if you're if you are thinking that this will sound like a Soft Machine 2 or something like that, you are highly mistaken. This is more on the jazz side than any prog side. Composed by Keith Tippett. I think that the US press is like a 20-30 euro record, and that is worth that all day long, in my opinion. The UK maybe 80 euro, something like that, in good condition, maybe a little bit more. If you are a fan of RCA Neon, that is a no-brainer, you need that. But yeah, recommended. So this, I had this on my want list for so long. This is not a masterpiece at all, maybe a 2.5 or 3 out of 5 stars in my book, but I love this player. Wolfgang Downer Trio. So when I saw it for a great, like 15 euros, something like that, I had to pick it up. Music sounds, and I love that comment there. There's nobody as fascinating as a musician. I can agree. There's the backside, a trio setting with Eberhard Weber and Roland Wittich on drums. And this is good, 1970, but I think that with what Wolfgang Downer did later on with Etc. is more, even more fascinating and better in my opinion also. And I love the NPS label, but it's like a little bit of a hit and miss, almost like 6 out of 10 NPS records are really interesting in my opinion. It's a little bit like Germany's CTI. There's this sound on some NPS records that just isn't my bag, but CTI maybe 2 out of 10 is interesting in my book. I'm not a fan of CTI in general. So yeah, music sounds about Wolfgang Downer Trio. Check it out. So I went to Scandinavia's biggest record fair, met up with Stunty. We had a coffee and talked about records, life, and the VC. It was awesome. He's a great guy. But we also flipped through some records together, and at this buddy of mine's stall, Jens, great guy. Stunty found this. He said, you have to buy this. This is a fantastic record. Never heard about it, but if Stunty recommends something and it's pretty cheap, I'm getting it. And man, what a record it is. This is fantastic. This is an original press, 1966, of Marshall Solal Trio, Son 66. I can't say that I knew anything about this guy before. I read that he did the soundtrack to Breathless by Godard, the French New Wave film, which I'm familiar with, but other than that, I know nothing. Now, after I got this and listened to this, I have a bunch of them on my want list because I want to explore this guy even more. So the first side is standard piano, the second side is organ. And I have to say that both sides are mind-blowingly good. I prefer the first side with standard piano, and if you want to check one song out, I would go for this one, the third on first side. It's a wild ride. Like, check it out. I think that I paid 30 euro for this, and you can find it even cheaper, but it was in amazing condition. So yeah, I think that this is a cheap heat record from start to finish. I mean, 1966 in this condition, 30 euros, so less than a fucking reissue by every average band or a Taylor Swift record. This is so cool. I mean, it looks almost new. I've bought new records that look worse than that record, and that's from 1966. It's insane. Moving on, the last one of the original pressings, and also the one that I'm most proud about, or happy about maybe. This has been on my want list for 10, 12, 15 plus years. It's not so hard to get. It's just like I want it for the right price, and I always got outbid, and just time just flies. But this is Mount Everest from 1972. Mount Everest is a Swedish band on a little bit of the not freer side, not like avant-garde side of jazz, but it's definitely exploring jazz. Let's just keep it at that. So this has Gilbert Holmström on tenor sax on it. Fantastic. Not on it, he was in Mount Everest. And they released 5 records, I think, from 72 to 89 maybe. The last 2, not my bag. The third one is good, but the 2 first records, this one self-titled and Waves of Albert Ayler, are 2 masterpieces in Swedish jazz. The Ayler record maybe even more, but this is also really good. It's been reissued on Record Store Day maybe 8-10 years ago. Get that if you're interested. Otherwise, seek out the original press. Not super cheap, but they sold a lot of records, I think, of this. This was fairly popular because you can find them, you can see them. So yeah, Mount Everest, highly recommended. Now the next one, and now we're going into the reissue category of this video. This is also from that record fair, Scandinavia's biggest record fair. I went to this guy, he had like a lot of metal records, stuff like that, one crate with jazz. So I'm flipping through that, finding a lot of OJCs from late 70s, early 80s, I think, in mint condition, like unplayed. So I bundled them all up together, bought a bunch of them for the shop. But I noticed this. Now we have to turn the clock backwards a little bit. And in Sweden, we have Bill Evans trio playing. They team up with Monica Zetterlund for one session. I think that they recorded it in one day. And she was the most popular jazz singer in Sweden back then, and still is, I think. And the result is this one. This is Waltz for Debbie with Monica Zetterlund and the Bill Evans trio. So maybe the most iconic Swedish jazz record ever. I think so. I think that it's like the most iconic. I've always been looking for an original press. It's not hard to find, but it's expensive. So I'm waiting for the right, moment. I have the second press with a different cover artwork. I'm fine with that. And in 2013, the reissue came out. I think numbered edition to 1,000 copies, something like that. Took a year, then it was out of print or sold out. Very popular release. Didn't get that. So I'm flipping through the records and I stumble upon a generic sleeve. And I'm seeing this, and I asked him, what's this? And he said, I have no idea. Just like, I found it, I'm selling it. I think he wanted like 30 euro maybe, something like that for it. It says Monica Zetterlund 2013 test press. So I'm asking him like, okay, so you don't know what music it is, which record? No, I have no idea. He was not interested in that. And I'm reading in the dead wax. It says, it's just like generic white labels. One says side A and one says nothing. I'm reading in the dead wax, Monica Zetterlund Waltz for Debbie. A side and B side. So what we have here is the test press for that Record Store Day release. And I was just like floored. I bought it right away. Never heard anyone had this. Never. It's not logged on Discogs. I mean, the most iconic jazz record in Sweden. Very popular. Re-release of it in 2013, and I have the test press. That's kind of neat if you look at it at like a collector's point of view. So yeah, super happy with that. Okay, so moving forward, this is a free jazz record from start to finish, and we're moving to France. So let's see here, by Kida E.J. Carroll, Orange Fish Tears on the Palm label from 1973, 74 maybe, something like that. And the Palm label in France is super collectible, like very short run, not many titles. And this company here, I can't pronounce that. I hope you see what it says. They have done a reissue series of the Palm label. So really, really nice. Comes with a booklet. I got this super cheap. I think I paid like 15 euros, something like that, on a sale in a store. Just insane. Labels. So yeah, it starts off, the first 10 minutes is very exploring, sort of mellow, if that's a word for it. Then it just like go full bananas. But it starts exploring again on the second side. Every musician gets their little time to make noises and sounds. And it all culminates in a big free jazz jam. Like it's insane. Highly recommended. Super interesting. Okay, next one, also reissue. I actually got this 100% for the sound quality, to check that out. I have to say, this is not my bag when it comes to music. It's good, but I would never buy this because of the music. I know how that sounds, but as you can see, I kept the shrink wrap on because I'm selling this probably down the line. But I wanted to hear how this series sounds, because it's so hard for me to get craft recordings. The distributors I have for my shop, it's super expensive. So yeah, but this is Charlemagne. No, this is Andrew Preven and his pals with Charlemagne and Red Mitchell. West Side Story. Plays eight tunes on West Side Story. But this was cut by Bernie Grunman from the original master tapes for craft recordings and acoustic sounds. Sounds like a dream, like really, really good, but yeah, just not my kind of jazz, not right now at least. So I'm keeping it for now, but I'm definitely going to sell it further down the line. Okay, the next one, this is Alice Coltrane Transfigurations from 1978, live at UCLA, and this is the Vinyl Me Please Classics version of it. As you may know, I bought some of these to check out in shop, see if I had a customer base for it, but I never got any sales, and so I kept this for myself. And now I think that Vinyl Me Please doesn't exist anymore, they went out of business. Anyway, this is mastered from the original master tape by Ryan K. Smith at Sterling Sound. 2 LP set, trio setting with Reggie Workman and Roy Haynes. Sounds like a dream. Awesome music. If you're into spiritual jazz in the vein of Alice Coltrane, this is a no-brainer. And I think that this is a little bit later in her career. So even if you're looking for a original press, it's not as expensive as her earlier stuff, but I might be mistaken. I'm very happy to have this. Yeah, sounds great, music great. I was a little bit hesitant. I had never heard this before I bought it, so it took me a while to actually play it because I have so much to play. But yeah, I was a little bit like later stuff, but it's okay, last but absolutely not least, 1956. This is a monster of a record, and I had an OJC 80s sort of press of it. Sounded okay, and I wasn't like buying the original press. So when I stumbled upon this for half the median price on Discogs, I couldn't resist. So this is Tenor Madness with Sonny Rollins Quartet, Red Garland, Paul Chambers and Phil Joe Jones, but guest is John Coltrane. So Sonny Rollins and John Coltrane playing on the title track, Tenor Madness. And man, what a tune. Ah, shit. The more I listen to Sonny Rollins, the more I fall in love with him and his playing. But then again, with his playing and then shooting off against Coltrane, it's... yeah. So this is the Analog Productions 2013 reissue. They've done another reissue after that also with this 33 RPM. I don't know who cut this. Maybe Bernie Grunman, but don't take my word for it. Deep Groove and the Prestige label. Fantastic work by Acoustic Sounds, I have to say, or Analog Productions. I have to say, this is like a paste on cover, just all the way through, magnificent release. Magic music, magic release, sound. So yeah, Tenor Madness, Sonny Rollins. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed that. Please comment if you have any comments about the music and or life in general. I answer every single comment. Give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and yeah, I'll talk to you in my next video. Have a great day, everyone.